Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be all about Phoenix. Recently I have had quite a few people ask me to make this video and ask me what I think about Phoenix and whether I rank her up just for prestige. Well, her prestige is the number one obvious thing people would consider ranking her up, because she is in fact currently the second highest in prestige, and shortly she's going to be overtaken by Neymar and going to be relegated to the third highest in prestige. However, it's still extremely high. But out of current top prestige options in the game, she is actually one of my favorite ones. Definitely, I enjoy playing her much more than I do Thor Ragnarok and Goldpool. So why do I like Phoenix, and what kind of possible use I think we can find for her? First of all, she has an amazing synergy with Emma Frost that works really great for Emma Frost as well. And for Phoenix, it lets Phoenix basically keep her Furies once she enters her burnout mode till they would expire completely. So as you can see here, we don't have any Phoenix charges anymore, but we still have 11 Furies up. With those 11 Furies, we can deal some massive damage, not to mention we can passively stun opponent, and we incinerate opponent on every single hit. And to furthermore, Emma Frost and Phoenix actually go really well together because they kind of compensate for each other's downsides. Emma Frost has an amazing utility and she can deal with a lot of different nodes. However, she does not have like any sustainability, and for any kind of like generic questing fights, Phoenix is a great option just because you can heal in every single fight for large amounts of health and save yourself a lot of health potions. In fact, I like this team so much that quite often they are my AQ map 7 team, depending on what week is going on. I actually wanted to make this video featuring Phoenix and Emma Frost both in Acts AQ map 7. However, this week is the week Cosmic Champions get minus 40% attack, therefore I will save that video for later. But here we can see Phoenix actually putting out some decent numbers with all her Furies and Incinerate. It all adds up, and her damage output isn't actually anything to be slept on. Just as we can see here, we are 76, 77 hits in, and Winter Soldier has lost 60% of his total HP. So she can actually do some really good numbers, especially with Emma Frost synergy allowing her to keep those Furies up for majority of the time. And you can also kind of like start stacking up new Phoenix Force charges while you have the Furies on. Therefore, as soon as they expire, you're going to be landing the new set of Furies much quicker than you used to before. And yes, I am not playing Phoenix exactly the way you have seen her being played in majority of the times in like past on YouTube, just because she does have a really good level 1, level 2 rotation where basically you can keep up a set amount of Furies pretty much indefinitely by cycling your level 1, gaining extra power gain, pretty much instantly getting to your level 2, shooting that off, and so on and so forth, and you can keep it in a good cycle. And the reason why I'm not doing it, I just think it's kind of like a bit excessive, fluffy playstyle that spams a lot of attacks, doesn't really do most of the damage, especially because a lot of Phoenix's damage also comes from that armor break, which you can place an opponent while you land a heavy attack whilst you have 5 or more Furies active. But as we can see here, Phoenix putting out some really good numbers, and Winter Soldier's down in like 120, 4 hits, so that's not bad at all, and her heavy attack can definitely pack a punch. So now we're going to put Phoenix in some Act 6, and we're going to check how well she can deal with some of the nodes and what are the upsides of using Phoenix. So this again is Moon Knight on no retreat and can't touch this node, so he has a 50% chance to avoid all our attacks. However, if we play him mainly with our parry heavy attack, which Phoenix pretty much relies on, we do not risk that evade, plus our damage output is pretty much unaffected because that is how you often want to play Phoenix regardless. Whilst we are on maxed out Furies, we also take advantage of that and like spam in a few more attacks like we normally would. But as we can see here, with 13 hits in, a bunch of those granted were heavy, but Moon Knight is going down fairly quickly, and Phoenix does not really have a problem with that. Also, the upside of using Phoenix in like longer quests is that you can heal pretty much indefinitely and on demand in every single fight. Therefore, you do not have to be afraid to take some block damage. You do not have to be afraid to mess up occasionally. Often even eat a special 3 from most characters. That's not going to be anything too devastating because you can just heal right back up. As we can see here, 30 hits in, Moon Knight's nearly down, and Phoenix still healthy as ever. And once again, even if she wouldn't be, she could just regen right back up to where she wants to be. It is worth noting that if you're running Suicide Masteries, then your regen is going to be gimped, and without Suicide Masteries, Phoenix still can do some amazing damage, and her regen is much more effective. It's just I did not want to change my mastery setup for the purposes of the video. But yeah, without Suicide Masteries, without that poison reducing your regen, you can pretty much heal up to like 90% or full health quite easily with Phoenix in every fight. And now we're going to be taking a look at 6.2, Explosive Personality Node and Special Delivery, I believe. So we have 15 hits before we have to launch a heavy attack. Now, previously there, I tapped him on block a couple times on purpose, just to demonstrate how easy we can access our armor break and remove those pesky armor buffs from opponents. Just because having 5 or more Furies up is pretty much a really easy task for Phoenix. And as we can see here, even though it just burnt out, we're already right back up at 5 Furies. And additionally, all these Incinerate debuffs plus Armor Break debuffs work extremely well with Despair Mastery. Therefore, we are able to pretty much shut down opponents' regen and just simply finish them off. So that was an 18 hit kill in 6.2, and several of them were from Special 2, so that's not bad going at all. Now we're going to be taking a look at long distance relationship 6.3 and how she can deal with this Ultron. So as you can see here, our typical go-to method, always pretty much in every single fight, is just spamming some heavy attacks at the beginning of it, so we can get to our Furies much quicker, and once those are active, we can start dealing some big boy damage. Sorry, I meant big lady damage. But either way, as you can see here, we're at 9 Furies, opponents constantly incinerated. Now we just overcharge ourselves, so we're going to stay at those 11 Furies. At this point, we kind of want to start landing a few heavy attacks, or here's another useful thing which we can do with Phoenix. If we are in our overcharge mode while we have the 11 Furies active, we launch level 2 and we already have 3 Phoenix Force charges immediately ready while the old set of Furies sort of is still active. So we finish the fight off there with a big heavy attack from Phoenix, and that is all she wrote. Now we're going to be taking a look at how she interacts with Power Struggle node, and that's another like global node that doesn't really affect Phoenix whatsoever, just because she does not have to rely on her special attacks at all to get out some really good damage numbers and perform as she normally would. So we are degenerating from Aspect of Nightmares, and because of poison we're not going to heal back to full health. However, once again, like losing some health at the beginning of the fight for Phoenix, not really a problem. That's exactly why she's a good questing champ, just because she can heal up every single fight. So as we can see here, while we have our 11 Furies active, we can spam in some more attacks, place a passive stun on an opponent, which is amazing because passive stun can bypass stun immunity and debuff immunity. And here we spam some more heavy attacks just to get back to our Furies. We're back at like 7 right about now, and we can start going back, dealing a lot of damage to opponent. So his Arc Overload is about to kick in, which we do not have to worry about whatsoever, just because of our debuffs on him. And there we finish the fight off once again with a big 20k heavy attack. So as we can see clearly, a maxed out Phoenix does not have any problems performing in Act 6 as well, at least to date, as much as we know of it. So anyways, here we're going to be taking a look at a 4-star Phoenix and some of Act 4. So this is Vitality Path, and also, very importantly, this Ultron is stun immune. And because Phoenix relies heavily on landing her heavy attacks, you'd think that stun immune opponents would be like a big problem for Phoenix. Well, it turns out not so much, just because of all that extra heal she can get every fight, or she doesn't have to be afraid to block baiting heavy attacks, taking quite many hits on a block. Our health is going down, but once again, that's not really a big deal at all for us. So here we launch a nice big level 2, deal quite a bit of damage, already have 3 Phoenix Force charges ready for our next fight. So our Furies expire, but we already started there with 4 Phoenix Force charges. That means our Furies are gonna build up back in no time. And that's like the great thing about Phoenix. What Emma Frost brings Phoenix with her synergy is that you do not have to spend a large amount of time without having your Furies, and her damage output can pretty much consistently stay high. You will drop down to like mediocre damage output obviously as soon as the Furies expire, but because you will have landed several heavy attacks meanwhile, or used your level 2 as we did here again, you pretty much start with 4 Phoenix Force charges, and it takes about 5 seconds, 6 seconds for those Furies to be built up. Here we're also going to be showing that taking lots of block damage is no problem for Phoenix. every single fight. She can regen. Because of poison, our regen was slightly gimped. However, we're still healthy enough on 40%, and if anything, that regen is ready and waiting for us in the next fight, which I'm going to be showing right about here. And that is, once again, one of the greatest things about Phoenix. She isn't just a champion that can do a fight or do some alright things in a fight. No, she's not the greatest fighter. Her utility is not the best. She doesn't have the biggest damage output, but her regen is really awesome, and that put together with all that she can actually do, how well she interacted, Despair Mastery and all the other things, the fact that she has Armor Break is just actually making her a solid champion. She's definitely not just a pretty face to look at, which she is, by the way. That alone made me rank her over Thor Ragnarok, but either way, Phoenix can actually be used in like your everyday questing and AQ especially to save you a lot of potions and a lot of trouble. So for all of those who look at Phoenix as just like a random prestige rank up, do consider her actual usefulness in questing and her ability to save you a lot of potions, a lot of resources. So yeah, and yeah, we triggered our heal. We did make a mistake. We got hit. We triggered our heal. We healed back up more than they started the fight with, and everything's perfectly cool over there. To kind of reiterate my point once again, I'm going to be showing Emma Frost, I'm going to be showing Phoenix going through some not so great matchups, some like decently difficult fights in 6.1, and showing how she can just carry on from fight to fight, utilizing her heal. And even with suicides, her heal is definitely sufficient, and without playing perfect. I'm going to be making some mistakes here and there. I think in this fight I'm going to be purposely eating up a level 3 and kind of like just surviving it and eating the bleed damage, just to kind of like show the point that Phoenix is a kind of like very hands on the job kind of character. She is not going to be always the most prettier way to finish the fights. You can make mistakes, you can get hit. She doesn't have every best matchup in the game, but she's definitely a character that you can just pick up and carry on playing. Even if you do happen to get hit in the face, you can just dust yourself off and carry on. And while the fights are happening there in background, I'm just going to kind of finish my final thoughts on Phoenix. So is Phoenix a character you should be taking as your like first rank 5? Definitely not. Is she ever going to be a character that's probably on number 1 on your rank up list? Also probably not. Like, let's face it, there are better champions than Phoenix in the game. But if you are in a position where you are considering prestige rank ups, if you do have to increase your prestige in sake for your Lions in order to place higher in AQ, and you have to choose in between like Goldpult or Ragnarok, Phoenix, and like some other characters, then Phoenix is definitely one of the better contenders in my eyes, because even though she might not be the best character in the game, she's still good enough to save you a large amount of potions and actually be useful in quests. Like how I have a rank 5 Thor Ragnarok as well, outside of some specific videos where I dedicate entire synergy team to him. I'm probably never going to use that guy. There's nothing extraordinary about him. He doesn't save me potions. He's not anything too great. Like, he's not the guy you would want to in your quest team, let alone dedicate your entire questing team to him to make him all right. Phoenix, on the other hand, I did rank for prestige. I am happy I did. It didn't take me like a long time to decide between Phoenix, Goldpool, or Thor Ragnarok. And yeah, I have been using her actually quite a lot ever since. She does a great job for me in AQ, occasionally in quests, and overall, even with my large roster, she has definitely come in handy to me quite a few times. So if you are in a position where you want to be ranking up for prestige, definitely Phoenix is one of the better options in my opinion. Now, there is obviously an argument about Captain Marvel, that Captain Marvel also has incredibly high prestige, and she is a better champion than Phoenix. And yeah, but if you don't have Captain Marvel, then what? Or if you already have ranked up Captain Marvel, and Phoenix is always a quite decent kind of like middle tier champion that actually has her utilities going for her even in kind of endgame content, just because of the sheer amount of health she can regen. The damage output is decent, armor breaks alright, But Emma Frost energy, and Emma Frost is an amazing champion. I made a video on her not too long ago, and those two just go so well together and actually form like a really powerful, solid, well-rounded questing team. So as we saw there, once again, we made some mistakes, we got hit, but our health still remained pretty much all right for the rest of the fight. So I did record the entire path here till Sabertooth, and also Sabertooth boss fight. I did mess up on Sabertooth though, but I do not want this video to be overly long. I think it's already about 15 minutes. So I am gonna be done for today. This Iron Patriot fight, I believe, is the last one I put in here. But yeah, guys, if you did enjoy this video, definitely do hit that subscribe button, do leave a like, do share it with your friends. Hopefully I changed your opinion about Phoenix. I showed some of her like useful sides, showed some of the good, decent damage numbers she can put out, and the fact that, yeah, she's just a really good potion saving machine. But yeah, I'm gonna be done for today, and that's about it. See you guys next time.